Okay, people, welcome back to Bowman's Woods. This is the very entry point of this whole build an off-grid house slash firewood production slash who knows what else. I think before this you would have seen where I kind of showed you the layout of how we keep this trailer charged up with solar. For now, again, nothing's mounted. I've got solar panels laying against tables. Got a lot of work to do. And I kind of want to talk about why I haven't filmed more. It's been crazy busy. But you can hear a generator now. I just finished sleeping on the trailer overnight. And of course, overnight, you're just draining. Yes, I could wait for solar, but as you can kind of see behind me, it's kind of cloudy today. So I can't count on solar being strong enough to get everything back up to fully charged quick. So I fired up the gas generator, which I hate doing, but you know, what are you going to do if it's cloudy? So I haven't been filming as much, so I'll just talk about why. First of all, this property was kind of a pain in the butt. It kept getting pushed back, and then all of a sudden it's like, the deed's here, you got the property on Friday. Like, we had not a lot of time to plan. So we had bought a trailer. We bought a trailer to live in temporarily. I bought a dump trailer, which is over there, which were purchased before the land was properly closed. Oh, I also had this ATV side by side here, CF Moto, and of course the tractor and all the attachments. Everything had been bought because, long story short, we had originally purchased another property. It fell through due to the owner and his agent lying that you could build on it when the township said, no, you can't. So then we got out of that deal, and then we got this one, and this one was freshly severed. So there were a lot of issues there with the township too, and deeds and whatever, kept getting pushed back. So we owned all of this stuff thinking we were gonna get that first property, and then it fell through. And then we got this property and it get pushed back until all of a sudden we had it. And so then we kind of just rushed around like chickens with their head cut off. We went and picked up the trailer. We went and picked up the dump trailer. We had the tractor delivered, and everything came really bang. So I didn't have time to like set up tripods and do filming. So let me just walk through what we did. Of course, we set up the trailer, which I've showed you. We got some solar set up around it to keep it powered so I don't have to run the gas generator all the time. The dump trailer I've only really used so far to bring like my ATV and a bunch of my gear from home to here, and that's it. Eventually it's gonna carry a lot of stuff, soil, rock, firewood, who knows what. It's gonna be helpful. So that's set up. The ATV's here to get around. But here's the thing, I flail mowed. That's all this area you see. It looks sort of like dead grass. That's all been flail mowed by the tractor. As you can see, I've made paths through the brush. And just the lay of the land for this property. The front part of the property is kind of reclaimed farmland, so it's kind of scrub brush. And then you get in deeper and it becomes hardwood forest. So that's where I really want to use the standing dead or the blowover firewood trees to make firewood. So I spent a ton of time right away flail mowing because I have a shipping container coming and I needed to make room for our trailer, the shipping container, and whatnot. Now, when I first flail mowed, it had been sunny for days and we were driving in and out, no problem at all. After we flail mowed, we just drove right on the grass and it was fine until it rained and it rained and it rained. And then when we started driving in, we started making, well, it didn't look this bad, of course. We started making a kind of like a mud patch that we kept having to drive through. So I called the local gravel place and said, hey, I need some gravel to make a driveway so it's a little less muddy. And he came out and looked at it. He says, yeah, you need, this ground is very soft and spongy. Old farm field, probably been tilled a bunch of times. You need to dig up at least 6 to 12 inches of soil, and then we'll dump the gravel in and you can spread it around as you need to. Now, I'm doing that just with my compact tractor over here. I really wish I had an excavator, but I don't. And trying to save money, I'm trying to do this myself with this front end loader of this TYM T574 55 horsepower compact tractor. So as you can see, there's the one pile of dirt. There's a bunch of pile of dirt over there. And there's my beloved flail mower. I was going to say brush hog, but it's not a brush hog. Flail mower, and that's what's been clearing all the space. I absolutely love this thing. It's been doing great. So that's it. So that's what I've been up to. So I'm going to continue, because you can tell I haven't stripped 6 to 12 inches everywhere, and I want to make it about 10 to 12, preferably 12 feet wide. but 10, if I get tired of doing this, it might be 10 feet wide. So the blade's only 6 feet wide, so you can see I got to do multiple passes. And doing it with a compact tractor with just a front end loader is a pain in the butt, because as you can see, it's very uneven, because as soon as I start digging in, the tractor loses traction and I have to dig up that piece of dirt and put it in a pile like over there or over here, and then come back and try and continue. And it's sort of like I'm chiseling away at the dirt instead of actually like a bulldozer or a excavator that could dig a proper equal height trough, so to speak. But it is what it is. I do not have an excavator yet, although my wife's saying we should really think about getting the attachment for the tractor for excavating. And how far back am I going? I don't want to build a driveway that goes to nothing. So I'm going to go to here, and then I'm going to stop, because we're not 100% sure where we're going to build eventually. There's a guy with a dump trailer. We're going to build eventually. I'm thinking we're going to build back around where my pickup truck is and the trailer, but who knows? We still have to hire a builder, and they may say they don't think this spot is good and that over there is better or over there is better. So you don't want to build a driveway to a house that doesn't end up being where the driveway goes to. So for now, I'm just going to build the driveway to here and then stop. So when I get the shipping container, it's going there. I'm going to have them obviously drive forward in here and then turn around and back in there. So right now, my next job is I got to flail mow some more. So I'll probably time lapse that for you, so you don't have to sit here and watch 20 minutes of me flail mowing. I'm going to flail mow some more of this scrub brush so that the shipping container can back right in here, and that'll be where I'll store all my equipment out of the elements. Right now, it's just all sitting out here, and I haven't brought like a tool bench or any of that stuff, because where am I going to put it? It's not going to fit in my liveaboard trailer, and I don't want to leave it out in the rain and the elements. So I got to get a shipping container in here. So that's next job. Make a gravel driveway so you can get a shipping container. And then once you get the shipping container, we can start storing stuff. Right now, the living trailer is just jammed with totes of tools and other things that I need. And where else are you going to put it, right? Now, I could leave the tote outside in the element, because it is, like a plastic tote that has a lid. But, you also sometimes leave the property for a bit of time, and you don't want to just leave tools lying around in a field. It's asking for somebody to come by and go, hey, what's in this tote? Oh, what do you know? Tools. I need tools. And that's the end of your tools. Good morning. Welcome back to Bowman's Woods. Bright and early at 7 a.m. on April 26th. Yep, April 26th. Frost on the ground. Our spring has been delayed. It's very cold at night. We're in the trailer. Last night went down to 0, or probably -1 since we have frost. But I just wanted to update you on my driveway. Gave up on the whole farm tractor as a digging implement with a front end loader. So as you can see, I got started on it. I did quite a bit near the road, but I was just putting my tractor through hell trying to dig with a front end loader. So the guys from Excavator that are delivering my gravel, I mentioned it, and they were like, well, we can bring a backhoe out, which of course is not going to be free. Oh, I think I'm going to see I painted marks where I want it done. Now the frost is hiding it. So I have to update that. But yeah, so they're getting a backhoe. We're going to dig about a foot down all the way back there, a little past where I finished up, and bring in gravel. 2-inch to start, and then later, once we let it compact, we'll put some fine crushed in to make it a little nicer. Okay, they are digging. Lucky for me, they got right down to bedrock. Now it's up and down a bit, but some places is only like less than a foot. Some places maybe closer to 2 feet. A couple of spots where it jags down a bit, but nothing better than building a driveway on bedrock, because that gravel is going nowhere. It's not going to get sucked down into the mud. So as you can see, making progress. And here comes my first load of 3-inch gravel, because it's pretty deep at the front here. I'm gonna throw some 3-inch down, then a layer of 2-inch, and then eventually, once it's settled, I'll put some crusher rock on top to make it look nice. So there we go. Driveway's way faster than when I was trying to do it with my little compact tractor. I should have just paid them to do it right away. Just gonna smooth it out a bit. 3-inch down low and then 2-inch over top. I brought some 2-inch. As you can see, the 2-inch is a little bit finer. Yeah, we got a lot of space to fill here. So 3-inch is probably cheaper, I'm guessing, because he said you'll save on the rock than 3-inch, but it's very coarse, so if that's what your driveway is made of, it's gonna really rip your tires apart. So you got to have a little smaller stuff on top. Needless to say, we need another load to bring it up to ground level. But yep, it's a work in progress. I'm sure it's not going to be cheap, but it needed to be done. It's considered, quote, new. They say new, but it's a one trip. So you have one trip from China to here. It's got a few dings, and you know, that's to be expected, because when these guys with the cranes yank them off the ships, they're not exactly gentle with them, so they sometimes scrape against the sea can beside it. But I've been inside, and it's absolutely immaculate on the inside, so that's, you know, that's all you really want. So it's watertight, it's very well sealed. I'll just give you a quick tour. There we go. I have my DeWalt area light in here if I wanted to go in, but I don't know how well this camera's gonna pick it up, but that's it. Like you can see, pristine shape. Floors are nice too. So just got this yesterday, so we'll have to start loading the stuff that's in the living trailer in here because it is cluttered in the living trailer. And then this was just finished 2 days ago. So we're moving. Like, we've only owned this property for 2 weeks. We've done all this in 2 weeks. So gravel driveway. It's pretty chunky right now. You might be thinking, that's not a very smooth driveway. Well, this is the base. It's 2-inch stone, and up by the road, because it's the highest density traffic area, they put some 3-inch down and then put 2-inch on top of it. And then I forget what the name of the one that's on top you'll eventually put that makes it smooth like cement. They'll do that later, but they suggested I let this sit for months. And there's the 5/8. There's some of the smoother stuff that they gave me just to be able to make a ramp to get in and out of the trailer, or out of the sea can. So the plan is the tractor should fit in this side. And as you saw, there's doors on both sides. So on that side down there, I'll back in my ATV. So we'll have 2 garages for our vehicles, which should leave a fair bit of space in the middle here. That will be, quite the echo in here, that will be like a workshop. So I'll have to string up some solar panels and some 12-volt lights in here so that I can just have a light switch at each end. If I need to come in here, I just click the light switch and voila, we have light. So this is pretty exciting. It's nice to have all this copious amounts of space to store your stuff and get your more valuable pieces of equipment out of the sun and the rain so it doesn't, you know, prematurely age. And with my front end loader, I'll have to get rid of all this dirt. Like I said, this driveway was only built 2 days ago, and they just brought a backhoe in here and dug. Now there is an episode where you're gonna see, I tried to dig it myself within my front end loader of my compact tractor. Bad idea. If anybody says you can dig your driveway with your own front end loader of your compact tractor, don't do it, because you hit roots, you hit rocks, you hit other things, and you go and moving along with your tractor, and then bam, tractor comes to a dead stop. It's really hard on your front end loader, your hydraulics, you're bound to break something. So when I started having these problems where I just kept, there's a rock right there. You can see some bedrock that's in the middle of the dirt. So pay the little extra money, get somebody with a professional, you know, excavator to come in and dig it properly for you, nice and even. You'll thank me later. Good afternoon, people. Welcome back to Bowman's Woods. It is a beautiful sunny day. Always makes me smile, a little bounce in the step. Love the sunny days. Now, obviously in the summertime, I'm gonna be like, it's too hot. It's too hot, but it's May right now, early May, so it's beautiful. It's comfortable t-shirt weather, and it's been raining like 2 out of 3 days. It seems like lately it's just rain, rain, rain. So when you get a sunny day, you just feel like you wanna smile, a little bounce in the step. Today's topic is gonna be compact tractors. So I have the TYM T574. I love this tractor. I've been using the hell out of it. I mean, I'm just on this thing every day, not all the time, but enough that I'm putting on the hours quick. So you can see the mud caked in the front end loader. The question of the day is, can you use your compact tractor for digging ditches, making roads, digging down, doing whatever you got to do where you got to take substantial amounts of earth out of the ground and pile it somewhere else? You put in the comments what you think, but after my experience trying to build my gravel driveway, the answer for me is no. Somebody said this on one of the other channels when they're talking about compact tractors, and it really rung true with me. The compact tractor is the Swiss Army knife of farm vehicles, or whatever you want to call it, off-grid homestead type vehicles. It's amazing how many things you can do with a compact tractor. Obviously, you got a front-end loader bucket that comes with it, standard. Obviously, unless, that's assuming you get the arms. Some of the tractors, you just get the tractor, but you know, TYM, you get the arms. You can do a lot of things behind it. I got a flail mower here. I haven't used this yet. As you can see, it's sparkly and red. Wallenstein skidding winch, box blade, grapple, and the little thing there, that's the ATV snowplow. That's not a tractor thing. The far end is a pallet fork. So as you can see, with a tractor, a compact tractor, you can do a crap ton of different things. And I love this tractor, don't get me wrong. But a compact tractor is not a earth moving machine. It's not a road builder. So I learned this the hard way. Let's start walking towards my driveway. Seems like gravel trucks are going by left, right, and center. Somebody else is getting work done, obviously. But I had a gravel driveway done. Here's the story, the backstory. So I called the local gravel place, which is Tackaberry here near Brockville. And I had, give me a quote. Let me know how much gravel I need, because I had never built a road in my life. So I'm like, how wide should it be? How deep should I dig down? I knew enough from watching YouTube University to know that you don't just throw gravel on top of soil or you'll lose your gravel. It'll just get absorbed into the soil. So a guy came out and he gave me a quote. He said, well, generally you do about 12 feet wide but you dig down at least a foot. Get rid of all that topsoil, at least a foot. He said, lucky for you, you're probably built on bedrock here. This whole area is pretty much bedrock. So you might dig down a foot and find out you're already on bedrock, in which case scrape all the way to the bedrock, because nothing's better than putting gravel directly on bedrock. Gravel's never going anywhere after that point. It'll be rock solid forever. So I was like, great. He goes, now, do you want us to come dig it, or are you going to do it? And I'm like, well, I've got a compact tractor with a front end loader. Little do I know. I'm like, that should do the trick. I go, no, I'll do it. So I'll dig down a foot. Hopefully I hit bedrock, and I'll just take all the soil and put it wherever I want to put it. Man, what a mistake. So you tell me in the comments if you agree with me. They're not designed for that. So when I put my blade down, if I angle down a little bit so I'm actually digging in, as soon as you start driving forward, your blade just wants to get deeper and deeper. So you have to angle it back up again. And then you're in that thick mud, clay, who knows, roots. There were roots and other things from the previous trees and stuff that were here. This is not an excavator. So it was struggling, and I would suck out a chunk of mud or whatever, and I would pick it up and I would drive it to a staging area, I'm going to call it, and then I'd come back and try another chunk of mud, and I would, in essence, you're just chipping away at the mud. It's so uneven. You had areas I'd got, sometimes you go to push forward and the blade doesn't even push down flat, it kind of angles, you know, like your tractor starts to lean because it got caught on a root or something on the right side but not the left side, and your whole tractor starts to turn that way, and you start to dig more deeply on the right side, not the left. After a day or so of doing it, I look back at my work and I'm like, I'm embarrassed. It's all jagged, and some areas are super deep, some areas are not very deep. I was just having a hell of a time. Plus, I could see the torsion on my lift bars on the front end loader. Every time I got into that thick stuff, you could just see the arms like, you know, not bending, but hydraulics were under severe pressure. You could hear it. So I was like, ugh. So I started up here by the road, and I dug here first, and I thought, well, let's just get down to bedrock, see how far it is. I didn't touch bedrock till I was down about 2.5 feet. And that took me the better part of a day. I was like, man, I cannot just do this all the way through my driveway for 2.5 feet. Sorry, road noise. Today, everybody's going by with trailers and dump trucks. It's just the loudest road today. It's usually not this busy. So got down 2.5 feet, and I thought, look at how long the driveway is. I mean, I'm like, if I have to dig a 12-foot wide trench down 2.5 feet, I'm gonna be here forever. I'm gonna be here for months, and I'll probably break my tractor. And then I was meeting up with Mike across the way. Him and his wife were having us over for some drinks, and I mentioned I'm digging my driveway with my front end loader, and I said, it's just hell. I don't think I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna probably get Tackaberry to do it. He's like, yeah, I would have done that right away, because these front end loaders, they're not, on compact tractors, they're not designed for like that kind of heavy duty, like heavy mud and clay stuff. He said, you're probably going to break something. I said, yeah, I kind of came to that conclusion already, but thanks for reinforcing my stupidity for even trying. The reason was, like, when he quoted me for the gravel, $5,200 for gravel is what they estimated. I was like, holy crap. I mean, I bought so much stuff lately. I'm like, oh, the money tree has got no leaves left. So I thought $5,200. And now do I want to pay them to also dig it? I thought, well, if I can do it myself, I can save that money. Take my word for it, don't do it. Pay an excavator. If you're out in a rural area, there's probably a farm, and you've been living there for a while, so you've actually got friends, because we just moved here. We're just meeting the locals, but I don't know them well enough to ask to have them come over and dig me a trench. But if you have a guy who has an excavator personally, chances are you can pay him by the hour. Say, come on over, what do you want an hour? Dig me my driveway. Might be cheaper than going to a commercial gravel dealer like I did, because they probably saw noob written all over my face and like, yeah, we'll charge them 10 times what normal people pay for it. Who knows? I haven't got the bill yet, surprisingly enough. Anyways, they dug it, did an amazing job. Really happy with the work. To save money though, he said, what do you want us to do with the dirt we dig out? We can get a bulldozer to move it to a strategic area, or just let the excavator dig it, stick it beside your driveway. That's the cheapest way to do it, because then it's a dig, dump, dig, dump. Nobody's coming to move the dirt for you. And I said, that'll save me money. Let's go that route. So excavator did a good job, got all the way down to Bedrock. Funny story, at the front of the driveway, where I said I got down like 2.5 feet to hit Bedrock, as soon as he got a little ways down here, yeah, it was about a foot, maybe 1.5 feet at the most. I'm like, man, if I'd started and it was only a foot, I think my front end loader could have handled a foot of soil, and I could have just followed the flat bedrock and just shaved off the foot. Maybe would have been able to do it myself. Maybe. Anything more than a foot? No. So anyways, as he dug back, kind of a blessing, bedrock the whole way. So all this gravel's on bedrock. But then to save money, he just dumped all the soil along the side. So you can see this area had big mounds of soil. That area had big mounds of soil. Then the part on the left had big mounds of soil. And you can still see there's still some by the road, big mounds of soil. So what I'm going to say today, and this is where I've been staging it, I have been able to use my tractor to lift this already dug and soft soil, pick it up, bring it to where I want, put it back down. So I have been able to do that. So that saves me, as opposed to getting them with a bulldozer to come in and move it all to one spot. But yeah, as you can see though, driving dozens of times over the same piece of ground to dump has turned this into a muddy mess. I can't imagine what it's going to look like when we get the next big dumping of rain. It's going to be like soup over here, but problem for another day. So today I'm going to show you some footage of me lifting this last piece just to prove it can be done without too much strain on your tractor. Lifting the loose stuff and moving it is something your Swiss Army knife compact tractor can do. Now, something I wanted to show you. You see all this soil, a little bit of clay. That was when we got real down deep near the front. What happened here? Well, there's a big pile of gravel here. So, lesson learned. I actually feel like I actually knew something for once. When I dug down here by the road, there was like a 45-degree angle from the road to my deepest point of soil still. Because it's not an excavator, I had to drive into it, and I had to drive starting from the road and dig down, so it was like a 45-degree angle when I got to the bedrock. When they came to dig, they started from where I left off and just kept going, and I said to the foreman, should we not get the excavator to dig the soil off right beside the road, because didn't you just say that if we put gravel on top of soil, it's just going to get absorbed in? And the foreman said, no, you should be fine. Who am I to say, right? I don't know anything about road building. So I thought, okay, you said it needed to be not on soil, but that's soil, but okay, you know better than me. As soon as the foreman left, the operator who was running the excavator all day, he's like, I probably would have dug out by the road, because now that the dump trucks are coming in, they're backing in to dump more gravel further and further down the driveway. He's like, yeah, they're sinking, and they're pushing the gravel I put down for you into the mud. I'm like, that's exactly what I thought. So he goes, if I were you, since I'm here, I'll dig out that gravel that we put there, dig out the mud underneath it, and then put new gravel back in. You'll be so much more happy than if you leave it the way it is. Because now you're always going to have that kind of soft front of your driveway. That's the part everybody drives over. I said, do it. You're here now, do it. So he dug out all the gravel that was there and the soil underneath it and put it here. Good thing is I told him, don't just dump it on top of the other stuff because I want to use this. The soil is just soil. This I consider path maintenance material. So I have tons of flail mowed paths through my forest here. I have to continue to do a lot more to get through kind of a boggy area in the middle to my really primo hardwoods at the back of my property. So when I drive on these trails though, I notice that there's parts where it starts high and nice and dry and then all of a sudden bloop, goes down about a foot and now you're in kind of a mushy, marshy stuff, then back up again. That's where you dump that fill in, just so you're not driving in mud during certain parts of your trails. And you know, just the odd spot where it's like weirdly some pothole for no reason. You drive along, also boom, your ATV drops like a foot and then bounces back up a foot. And you look back and go, that's a natural crevice in my trail for no apparently good reason. So that's where you can dump that fill, the gravelly fill, in there and pack it down by driving over it with the tractor and you know, have a much smoother ride. So it's not completely a waste, but it is a bit of a life lesson. Listen to yourself. If they tell you gravel doesn't go on soil, it just doesn't, or you're gonna be very, very unhappy. Make sure they take all the soil out. In this case, don't be convinced that it's fine, because it isn't fine. And the operator was like right away, as soon as the foreman was gone and he started digging, he's like, why didn't we dig that out? And I was like, I don't know. I said, should we? And he said, nah. So anyways, no shade on Tackleberry. They did a great job, but I think in hindsight, I should have been a little bit more forceful with the foreman just to say, no, I'm paying for it. I want the soil beside the road out too, so that I know I got a rock solid base the entire way, not just my portion of the driveway, but next to the road as well. Now, maybe in the back of his mind, he was like, oh, I don't really like digging on the shoulder of a road. Maybe the township might have a problem, but I think the township would have more of a problem if there's like a washout on my driveway because it's all soil and all the gravel's just been sucked in. So we've put primo gravel in there beside the roadway, so that shoulder is now more solid than it was before, because clearly all the road people from the township did was put gravel on the shoulder over top of dirt. Why? I don't know. Saving money, I guess. And also, it's not really a drivable surface. Most people don't drive on the shoulder, so it probably wouldn't sink into the mud, but the township can now know that I've made a rock solid shoulder on those 12 feet right beside my driveway. Best shoulder ever. So there we go. So now I'll get into my tractor. I'll give you a little footage of me moving some soil just to prove it can be done. Again, the caveat is not soil that's down in the ground that's never been dug in 100 years. I mean, this used to be a farm field, so I'm sure at some point it was plowed, but yeah, it's been compacted and sun-baked and whatever for years. So definitely too hard for the tractor. But when it's already loose piles, yeah, you can get away with it. So there you go. Now let's get some digging going. So there you go. This is more of a lesson to people like me that are total noobs at owning tractors and whatnot. Sure, you can pick up loose soil. That's what the front end loader is for. But you cannot dig up hardened clay, roots, rocks, and all that down to a foot to 2.5 feet of dense stuff with a front end loader of a compact tractor. It's just not designed for that. Then again, anybody who's in farming probably knew that already. And I'm just telling them something they should already know. But for noobs like me, if you're out there and you're thinking of getting a compact tractor, yeah, it's not an earth-moving machine in terms of digging. It is an earth-moving machine, as you can see from this footage, of already loose dirt. That is perfectly fine, worked great for me. But yeah. So there you go. Hopefully you found this informative or entertaining. If so, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to continue to go along and show you our trials and tribulations, as my wife Janice calls it, winging it in the woods with the Bowmans, because we constantly are doing things for the very first time, making all sorts of mistakes, but learning as we go and getting better. In the future, I do buy an excavator, Kubota, and I've just been using it, like loving that thing, using it constantly to dig things and move earth the way I should have done for this driveway. Had I owned the excavator back then, I wouldn't have needed to pay them for getting a backhoe operator in here. I could have done it myself. When we do build the house, once I have the exact spot the house is going to be, I will save some money by digging all this topsoil down to bedrock before we pour the ICF foundation. So that'll save me some money I guess I'm just trying to justify why I spent money on an excavator. You know, you have to justify these things. So anyways, I'm having fun with that as well. You'll see that in future episodes. So that's it for now. I got to get back to work, making a lot more trails through this very dense cedar forest to get to the more heritage woods at the back. It's a lot of work, and this is why it's taking a while for these episodes to come out. But there's some exciting things coming for sure, so stay tuned. This is Craig signing off, wishing you happiness and health. Ciao for now.